How do the little piggies go? That's right. Oink, oink. Now, show me how the piggies eat. This is your trough. Show me how the piggies eat. Be a good boy. Show Mommy how the piggies eat.
TBTL.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
It's Friday. Gonna get down on Friday.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
You call hamburgers steamed hams.
Yes, it's a regional dialect.
I see you got them snakes and sparklers, but where's good stuff, man?
Good stuff. This is the good stuff.
So you're gonna tell me that you don't have no black cats, no Roman candles, or screaming Mimis?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got no ladyfingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, gut busters, zippity doo-dahs, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
You're gonna stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsy daisers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
No. Snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
It is our turn.
My name's Luke Burbank. I am your host.
I'm joking.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia on this, the 4th of July.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Where we find ourselves at episode 4,503 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
And while folks, maybe even as you're hearing this, are eating a truly horrifying amount of hot dogs on Coney Island at the Nathan's competition, we too, here on TBTL, are going to take this holiday. We are going to take the opportunity to also take part in a grotesque eating display.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Involving McDonald's Big Mac steamed hams. Got a bag right here in my hands with a Big Mac that was just... Well, actually, it wasn't just DoorDashed here. More on that in a moment. First, though, we got to say hi to my buddy, the longest-running Cobro of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships, and I would say his confidence in his ability to eat this Big Mac in under 60 seconds.
My boy says he can eat 50 eggs, he can eat 50 eggs.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Big day.
Yeah. I've been watching so many TikToks of people trying to do this challenge, and it has definitely lowered my confidence in my ability to do it. And in fact, it has made me wonder if this was really a terrible idea.
I have never seen the Big Mac challenge before on TikTok. I only know about it because you described it to me. I've never had a Big Mac before. So, yeah, I think I'm going to win this thing.
Territory.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm not doing this right. I don't even know what it's like to eat a Big Mac at a normal pace.
Right.
And I'm also uncluttered with the insecurities of seeing other people fail. So maybe that'll work in my advantage.
Well, that actually is a pretty interesting strategy because, yeah, I was going to play you a little tape of a guy kind of failing. Could I play that for you?
Sure, yeah.
This is what I was watching just before we dialed up today. This is a guy who is doing the Big Mac challenge, and he has, you can, on your TikTok feed, you've got the video, but then you can write all kinds of stuff on it. And I think he's written too easy.
They don't nominated the king of eating to finish a Big Mac within a minute? About to be the easiest thing I ever did, man. Did it start? Oh, it started. Hold on.
So he's got his little cell phone camera timer thingy. It's counting down. He's already 10 seconds into it, and he's got about 80% of the Big Mac left. And what I've learned, Andrew, because I have now been studying the format and the process, I could already tell you the guy's he's at 35 seconds.
Oh, there.
And he's eaten about half of the Big Mac. He doesn't have a chance. The guy has no chance.
What's happening? It's dry mouth?
It's just he's not chewing fast enough. He obviously doesn't have the jaw strength for this. He's just taking too much time. He's still got like a third. Now he's about 13 seconds left. He's gotten all but the last little piece into his mouth.
If you eat like that, you're going to die.
Oh, no. I didn't want
So
to hear
that's not the
that.
confidence
That's not
builder
what
that
I
I
wanted
needed.
to hear.
Right.
Well,
If
have you
you're
seen
gonna eat
anybody
like this,
succeed?
you're going to die.
Has anybody succeeded?
Many people have.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
Well, let's hoist up our heroes.
Yeah. Well, those guys are they're more boring. They don't say funny things like, if you eat like this, you're going to die.
Yeah,
they're
no,
all
that
just
is
kind of
true.
like a kind of blue collar dad type.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, the format seems to be the wife or girlfriend who's filming it and saying, all right, my husband or my boyfriend, they're like sitting in the car or whatever. He's going to try the 1 minute Big Mac challenge. And then they start the timer. And what is interesting is, and we know this from competitive eating, from like watching those things or whatever, the person's size is not a predictor of if they'll be able to do it or not. You know what I mean? It's just some people can and some people cannot. Now, I've already made a couple of really critical errors on this whole thing today, Andrew.
Is one of them that you already started eating French fries like I saw you doing during sound check?
You mean an entire large French fry container from McDonald's?
Can I tell you that I have not eaten all day? We're recording later than usual. I've had my usual morning coffee, so I have that like empty feeling in my stomach. I just ran to McDonald's and I got the food, and I even got an orange drink to go along with it, like the uncarbonated. I couldn't think of it. I'm so nervous. I went through the drive-thru. I'm so nervous going through the drive-thru. I had to say to the lady, the uncarbonated orange. She's like, "Hi, C." I'm like, "That's the one. Thank you." But anyway, I am so hungry. I didn't even sip my orange drink ahead of time because I want to try to use this hunger. I don't think hunger is really a factor. I think I'm like not. I don't think it's the smartest notion I've had, but I'm just trying to unsully myself by not eating anything, and I am so hungry right now.
Well, my problem was I actually DoorDashed to this because I was working on some other stuff, and I thought, it's an extra $3 of delivery or something, but it's like, then I don't have to drive all the way into town. And it was shocking how quickly the stuff got here. I swear to God, I thought, I feel like I live 20 to 30 minutes outside of any major city.
Mm-hmm.
I hit the order button, and like 10 minutes later, I get this alert that it's been dropped off.
Yeah.
The food was out on my porch. I don't know if there's a McDonald's around here. I didn't know about. That's like a few blocks away, but it got here really quickly. You and I still were a good 40 minutes away from dialing up. And so what am I going to do? Sit here with these rapidly cooling fries and not eat them?
Well, unfortunately, the burger is probably cooling off too, which could work against us. But I did want to say I have been thinking about this, and I hope this doesn't ruin the contest. I think this will be a fun development, sort of. I know you have a Big Mac and you're ready to do this contest. Because I don't eat Big Mac sauce, and I don't eat cheese, and it seemed a little bit weird for me to get a Big Mac without those things on it.
Yeah.
I instead.
Was that why you were nervous to go through the drive-thru because your order was custom?
Yeah, well, no. What I did instead was I got 5 chicken nuggets, and we're going to see if I can eat 5 chicken nuggets in a minute. How do we feel about that?
I think you can definitely do that.
It's actually 6. And yeah, I literally bought these chicken nuggets for that joke. I also have a Big Mac without cheese, without sauce. I will be eating that, but I wanted to see if I could actually tick you off by saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to eat these nuggets because obviously you can eat a handful of nuggets in a minute if you needed to.
This is the thing, though. From watching all these videos, I think of myself as a pretty fast. In fact, anybody I've ever dated or been married to would tell you that I eat my food way too fast. I don't think that that's really your move generally, is it? You're pretty deliberate.
No, I think I became a fast eater. I remember I told you a long drawn-out story at one point about how, like, I don't know how I used to eat. I never thought about it, but then I had this job where we had a kind of a small window to eat, and I was always eating with my colleague who's a super fast eater and a high-energy guy, and so we'd go out and we'd eat these noodle dishes or whatever, but he was always just like forking it in his mouth so fast so he could get back to work. And I think something changed in me during that period because I do think that sometimes I have to tell myself to slow down a little bit. The food isn't going anywhere.
I think because of growing up one of 7 kids, the thing I always say is it was not that there was not enough food. We had plenty of food. It was that there was not enough of the good food. We would often be eating a kind of if you wanted to be generous, you call it a hybrid meal, where it'd be like, oh, there's 3 Arby's roast beef sandwiches, and then there's also some leftover lasagna, and there's something else, and it's all kind of out there in the middle of the table. go for it. So I'd be eyeing those Arby's, or
Your
things
mom
like
would
that.
just break a pool cue over her knee and give one to you, one to your siblings, and just like say, go for it.
Yes, kumite.
Mm-hmm.
2 children enter, 1 child leave. And so I've always been a really fast eater. That being said, I think that there's another level to doing this. It's pretty strategic. And one of the things, I'm talking about trying to get this Big Mac down in under 60 seconds. So one of the things I've done here, Andrew, you can't quite see because of my camera angle, but I've noticed in the videos that it's very messy. Now, yours might be less messy because you don't have the sauce on there. But I have like a Gallagher-style paper towel layer that I'm actually going to put over my computer.
That's
because
smart.
on yesterday's show, I spilled LaCroix on the computer, and that was not good. And so I've got a lot of like sort of protection down. I'm also wearing, it's an apron, but it's the closest thing I have to a bib, because I've noticed that it's like the whole thing. And you and I are both like, we don't like having sauce on our face.
No.
There's no way, I think, for this to happen without sauce getting on our face. I've got this apron. I've got my North Central Little League pin that somebody sent me. And maybe most critically, and this is putting me in the right frame of mind for success, Andrew. I don't know if you can see. This is my Dangerous pin that I got from
nice.
Russell Wilson at Alaska Airlines promotional event.
I was listening to Tim Kirkchin, and Le Batard was on Kirkchin's podcast recently as I was listening to it. And so, of course, they were talking about a lot of the looks like game where they take famous people and they say so-and-so looks like, and then Tim Kirkchin just laughs his ass off for like a half hour. And somebody said Russell Wilson looks like a SeaWorld presenter. And everybody started laughing so hard, and then I took a moment to envision it. I'm like, yeah, and then somebody says, it's the wetsuit. You picture him in a wetsuit, and he is the perfect example of somebody who's giving a demonstration in front of the dolphins at SeaWorld.
Yeah, I can totally see that. That's such a great game.
That's
They're still
such a
doing
good
that
game.
over on Le Batard?
I haven't listened to Le Batard in a while. I think that was one of the things that went away for a long time, but I think it's kind of back now. But this was on the Kirkchin podcast. They were sort of rehashing some of their favorites, and that one is really, really good. Somebody said David. No, I'm sorry. Who's the NBA commissioner? Silver? Is it David Silver?
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver looks like the one French fry that accidentally got into a thing of onion rings.
That's true.
Okay, now I'm
Tis
just
true.
rehashing. I'm rehashing content that I heard on one podcast that was rehashing it from another podcast. I will let it go.
All right, so we have some practical questions
Yeah.
here.
So I am.
You should go first because
Okay.
I think you're. I don't want to say worried, but you've mentioned once already today, and you mentioned yesterday the idea of the burger being cold, and that might be distasteful for you.
I do think it's going to be rough. Now, here's my deal. I was planning on doing cartoon style.
Oh, I
bib
like
here.
that.
I'm putting a
That's
napkin
actually
in
really
the front
smart.
of my shirt, and I have a whole bunch of napkins here. I didn't think to set them out the way you did. I'm a little bit worried. This is not my ideal situation. I'm very crowded around equipment and stuff right here, but I'm putting some of these down. But you
Definitely
mentioned
protect your equipment because it's gonna get juicy.
You mentioned the sauce, so I really do have a Big Mac here, of course, and I did get it without Big Mac sauce and without cheese, and of course I had to pull around in the parking lot, open it up in the car to make sure that they got that order right. Usually specialty orders, they're just so used to slopping it on there or whatever, but it does look like they got it right. But I do think it's actually a bit of a liability not to have any sauce on here at all. They didn't replace
I
anything.
agree.
So what I'm going to do, and again, if you object to any of this, I don't have to, but I was going to put barbecue sauce on mine. I think sauce, even though it's going to be messy, I think it's going to be a little important to kind of slick this down. I think sauceless is a challenge.
I agree with you. I am so fine with that. I think you should do that. It will mean that if you do it in under a minute, this is not a qualifying event for you to get into the Professional Eaters Association.
What if I do it without the sauce?
Then it would be. I just
Then
want to
it
let
would
you know.
be.
I want you to have full awareness that when you do that, if you put barbecue sauce on there, that means that your official time will not count. It's wind aided.
This is interesting that I've never had one of these before, and it is interesting to see a bun in the middle of a sandwich. I'm putting barbecue sauce on here right now. In fact, what I'm going to do here is, this is probably stupid, and I might not need to do this, but I'm also going to put a little barbecue sauce on a plate. I have a plate here because I might dip. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I think anything I'm just actually really excited that you're doing this, Andrew. Now, listen, my love and admiration for you would have not been diminished if you would have said no thank you. But there's so much about this that I think is not your favorite.
I don't like people watching me eat when I'm even
Starting
doing
with that,
it politely. Yes, exactly.
And then trying to horf this down, and then like a kind of a burger you've never had before. So I really appreciate you. If you want to cover your body in barbecue sauce and lick it off as some sort of
my goodness.
weird celebration, I'm fine. You do whatever you want over there. I'm just stoked that you're participating in this.
Okay, well, first of all, are you going to time me and I'll time you?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's I think probably the way to do this, because a lot of the people I've seen on TikTok have these little, like, a lot of the people that are showing up are literally competitive eaters, or they're people who their deal on TikTok is eating like large volumes of food in under a certain amount of time, and they have special little like holders for their phone, or they use an iPad. So we don't have any of that technology here. So I can time you, and I'll hold it up. I'll hold the phone up so I'm not messing with you.
But can you give me? I think it's going to be hard for me to see that with a glare.
Yeah, no, I'll count you down.
So you give me some updates. Not
I'll
not
tell you,
second by second.
I'll check in at 45, 30, 15, and then maybe count you down from 10.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Does that sound all right?
That sounds good. I thought I had another question. So you're gonna count. Oh, and do we have any? Do you have any kind of music or anything?
Well, I have this stopwatch, which this is exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
This is exactly a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, then that'll be good too. Then does it ding or anything at the end, or does it just end?
It doesn't ding, but if you're eating and I'm controlling, I do have a little buzz I can play at the end of it,
or something more celebratory if I've accomplished.
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
What are we going to do with the extra 30 seconds after I? Let
me get a fanfare here. Let me get a fanfare going. Now, one other thing that is technically a rule of this is you're not supposed to drink any like water or soda or high C during the minute that you're trying to eat this thing. I actually think that would probably honestly just eat up time anyway.
Yeah, but it does mean that I took one of the rules. I did take one little sip of my
I've been taking
orange.
sips of my DC. Nothing, I have to be honest, nothing hits like a McDonald's Diet Coke. It is.
I was going to say the orange high C. God, I'm drinking this here. It's so perfect. Oh, you don't have a straw, huh?
They didn't bring one. It was the only. That was the only part of the DoorDash experience that was not ideal. They didn't bring me a straw. But listen, again, we're not professional eaters. We're but humble podcasters. So even if you wanted to take a drink in the middle of it, I don't really care. I don't see this as a competition between you and me, Andrew. I see this as a competition between us and good taste.
Us versus the world.
Us versus propriety. Us versus taking our job as podcasters in any way seriously. And
it's like,
clearly,
you know what? Let's name the show Man versus Food. I just came up with that because I'm a man, and I'm like kind of challenging myself to eat food.
What about Mac and Me?
Well, that's when we do the macaroni eating contest.
Okay, so
Big Mac, Luke.
What?
I didn't get your joke. I literally didn't get the Mac part of that. Mac and Me, I actually like as a show title.
Wasn't that a movie?
It was.
Isn't there? Doesn't Paul Rudd?
Yes, he does.
There's a Paul Rudd continuing joke about Mac and Me because Mac is like some kind of extraterrestrial.
Every
sort
time
of an
he was
off-brand ET.
Every time he was on the Conan O'Brien show, he would say that he brought a clip from his latest project. Conan swears that even though this was going on for years and years, he was still sometimes caught off guard by it. Paul Rudd would go through this whole thing of setting up a clip from whatever movie he's working on, and then they'd toss to it, and it would always be the scene from Mac and Me where a very fake-looking kid in a wheelchair, it's like a dummy in a wheelchair, goes over a cliff, and he would have set that up for Conan. Decades, I think that joke went on.
All right, so are you ready, my friend?
I guess so. I took a little sip of that orange, and now I feel a little glottally, as you sometimes say. Like, I feel... Can I drink a little bit of water first? Hold on.
You drink whatever you want, buddy. Take a shot of BBQ sauce if you need to.
Oh, no, not on that. I'm kind of bummed that I bought all those. Usually I would have devoured those chicken nuggets as a sort of a appetizer to the entree, you know.
But you're trying to harness your hunger.
I'm trying
in the
to
words of Steve Malkmus.
Yes, I'm harnessing my
your
hope.
hunger for the podcast, and then you'll eat a Big Mac and put it on the net.
I think it would be breaking the rules if I cut this in half, but I'll bet you it'd be easier if you cut it in half, huh?
I think it would be, and I don't
even have a knife. Don't worry about it.
I'm not sticklering for the rules because I honestly do not care, and I don't see this as a competition between the two of us. I think if either of us are able to get this thing down in a minute, I'll be kind of amazed.
All right.
So, but But
So I'm gonna
yeah.
hold it here. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna
Okay.
dip it. I need it in my
Okay.
hands as we begin.
Okay, I've got the stopwatch ready to go.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'd say he took about a medium-sized chomp out of the Big Mac. He just did another one. This guy, my friends, at the 12-second mark has half of the Big Mac. Roughly half of the Big Mac is currently inside his head. He is chewing it. I think he's running into the problem that other people have, which is not so much the biting of the Big. He's taking another bite, guys. He's taking another bite. It's not so much the biting of the Big Mac. We're at 30 seconds now. 30 seconds left. It's the chewing of the Big Mac that seems to really, really kind of slow people down. All right. He has taken another gargantuan bite at the 40-second mark. He is chomping away. I would say there is about 15% of the Big Mac in his hand. He is actually doing much better than I expected. At the 50-second mark, we are at the 10-second mark. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. He's got the whole Big Mac in his mouth. And time. I am giving you huge credit, buddy. You know, technically, officially, we're supposed to swallow.
It didn't get down my throat. It didn't get down my throat.
You did so much better on that than I expected, though.
Oh, damn, man.
You only missed it by about 7 or 8 seconds.
I feel like with practice I could do It's my new
Now,
life.
this is the worst possible way for you to experience
God, that
a Big
was
Mac.
good. I was so hungry.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, I know that's like the worst, that's like the worst way for you to experience your first ever bite of a McDonald's Big Mac. But did it taste kind of okay in the midst of all of that, like forcing it down?
That experience was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was really geared up to especially if that guy said that I was going to die.
Yeah,
but
that's scary to hear. I was trying to psych you out with that.
To get so close, I mean, I had it all in my face. It was all in my body. But
it was all inside your body.
But it has to be swallowed, right?
The problem is it was on the top floor. It was on the penthouse, and it needed to go down to the basement.
And that is a stated part of the competition, right?
That's the big thing because a lot of people...
You can just shove it in your mouth and leave it there.
Yeah, people get to the point...
Like RFK Jr. with tobacco during a hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Just wanted happy 4th of July, everybody.
You have it like... Yeah, a lot of people will be still chewing through the end of the thing. That's where I'm trying to decide for my strategy, if it's get as much Big Mac into my mouth as I can and then start working on it, or maybe smaller bites that are easier to masticate.
I'll be honest, I was going for the big bites right away. I did think that I was a little, not insulted is a strong word. I had some issue with the home plate umpire saying that my first bite wasn't, I don't remember what you said, but I'm pretty sure I got about a quarter of the sandwich with my first bite. I think I just chomped a huge quarter of the sandwich.
Maybe it was perspective on the camera. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
having a little bit of a hard time seeing it. I wasn't trying to be denigrating. I was trying to just
I know.
accurately describe this for the listeners.
Yeah, no, so here's the funny thing about this right now. I'm a little adrenalized. I've never done any kind of eating competition before, ever. And I'm weird about food and people watching me eat, so this whole thing is interesting.
Andrew, thank you for challenging yourself.
Well, here's the deal. So now I'm a little bit adrenalized, but the thing is, I've never eaten anything so fast before, especially something with so many calories, yet I ate that so quickly, and I told you how hungry I was. I'm
You're
still
about to go
hungry.
for them nugs.
I'm so hungry. Like, I'm still hungry because it hasn't, the message
Your body
hasn't,
has not
my body
gotten the
doesn't know what's
memo.
going on. It's like that old toast, may you be in heaven a half hour before the devil knows you're dead. My body doesn't know that the devil is dead or whatever.
It's that thing called the caloric vanishing point that the junk food companies have engineered into junk food so that you can eat tons of Pringles before your body figures out the calories. You just did that like old school.
That's the
You just
saddest
ate
thing I've ever heard.
You just horfed it down so fast that your body's not going to realize for hours.
I'm sort of
what it just
eyeing
did.
these nuggets. That's
Go for it,
I'm
by
not
all
even
means.
kidding. I mean, that's
Okay.
a little Burbankian because I remember after like the Dick's hamburger eating contest, I think you were still chowing down on stuff. And
I was slugging whiskey in between cheeseburgers.
Anyway, so okay, now it's your turn. Now I'm going to give
They
you
put
I'm
a
not
lot
gonna,
of sauce on mine.
They put a lot on?
A lot. Can you get a shot of this? And try not to get I don't want to get sauce on my.
Pretty saucy. I do think
That's
you're
real
eating.
saucy.
It's also the cheese. I mean, we should remember that mine did not have cheese on it, so that's a little bit less of a burger than what you're eating too. I mean,
Well,
if
I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
be fair about that.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't think that that's that big of a deal. I guess. So listen. Without further ado, should I just get into this? I guess.
I just want to say, in the moment, it didn't seem like I should dip the burger, but I am starting to wonder if because I'm looking at the sauce here that I poured out on the plate that I was ready to dip into.
Yeah.
I feel like that was maybe a mistake that I didn't take advantage of that more. So if you had any extra sauce that you wanted to put down, I wouldn't.
I don't.
I would.
I just have.
Okay.
I just have this thing as it came.
All right, well, go ahead. Okay, so I'm not going to hold up a clock for you. I'm just going to give you the countdowns because I have it on my computer here. I don't have the sound effect, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I have it. I can play it from here. I can activate it and then start eating.
All right, when you activate that sound, I will activate the timer.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
I'm giving you an extra second here. Okay, I started it with the first bite. So I give, he just kind of took like 3 small bites. He has got shit all over his face. He is a nightmare of a person that he does not want to be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to help, but now he's laughing. Oh no, the person who's judging is affecting the contest. This is not fair. He's about halfway through. It looks like more than halfway through, I think. I don't have the best vision of it on it, but yeah, we're about a quarter to go with Luke Burbank, and we have 30 seconds to go. I forgot to give you an update. We have a full 30 seconds. I don't see a world where you don't do this. He is down to about 1 bite of this burger now. I think 1 or 2 bites, 1 big bite. He has 15 seconds to go. We're at the 45-second mark. More is shoved in. It's all in the mouth right now, all in the body, still in the upper deck. He has 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's gone, and he stuck out his tongue at me, and it was nasty, but it proved that he ate it all. I'm sorry that I made you laugh during that. That was unfair. I wasn't trying to make you laugh. I was just trying to say things. You okay?
Is it weird that I feel slightly emotional?
because you accomplished something?
No, because I think some of the burger went into my sinuses.
He has special sauce coming out of his nose.
I see. Oh, my God. Okay. Sorry.
So you did it, though.
I mean, I did, and yet, what hath I wrought?
I mean,
is
you
that
did
a good
something.
thing or a bad thing that I was able to do that?
I'm jealous. I want another stab at this.
I can tell you that, unlike you, I am not feeling hungry.
You are, yeah. You also ate a large
fry
fry beforehand, my dude.
Oh, yeah, that was dumb. Well, because, see, what's happening, there is 60% of a Big Mac that is just above my lungs.
In your sternum. I don't like this.
It's not in my mouth, but it ain't in my stomach yet.
Yeah.
And there was a moment about a third of the way in when I realized, the key to this is to not properly chew all of it.
Oh, sure,
The key to this is to swallow a size an amount that if it doesn't exactly clear your whatever it is, throat, I would have to self-Heimlich here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is a kind of a dangerous size? I want to just say to the people at home, try this at your own risk. Please don't come for us if you, end up choking on a Big Mac trying to do this. But I realized, I cannot chew this to the normal level that I would chew food. You got to just start swallowing it, kind of not fully chewed down. And I think because of that, it definitely feels lodged.
Yeah, I was expecting that. I'm kind of surprised I don't have that. But again, I didn't succeed, so maybe that's why.
You were so close. You were 5 seconds out.
I do think I could have gotten another 5 seconds, but I don't have that. That's what I was worried about. That's what I expected for myself. But honestly, I think it's starting to hit my stomach now because I'm not quite as. But it was really weird to have eaten that whole thing and then be like, I'm hungry still.
Right.
It was strange, but now I think it's maybe starting to get there.
Yeah, I'm just sleepy now.
You done?
I'm done. I'm in a weird place. I didn't think I was actually going to be able to pull that off. And then I also was thinking, damn it, this is going to be on the internet. Like, the whole point of this is to create some content for the Instagram page, but I'm like, that is probably, without a doubt, the least attractive I will ever be.
You had shit all over your face. Were you looking at yourself at all on the screen?
No, I
on
was
the camera?
just
That's
going
good.
to town on the burger.
You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't
There was
do that,
no. There are things you couldn't. No,
no, I just
things
mean,
you
I think in the moment it would have just distracted you, and it would have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have.
No, I did do a face wipe. I did lose 2 seconds on a face wipe in there in the process because I was if it was going to be between finishing the challenge and sorry, I've still got some 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, kind of attempting to make a return to the surface level.
Yes. It misses the outside.
I realized I was like, if the only way for me to do this thing is to not wipe my face, I choose wiping my face.
Yes. No, you had. I do think though, seeing how much sauce was on there and thus
that
on
helped,
you,
probably.
No.
Helped.
If I was truly competing, I think I should have sauced up mine more. And even if it was, even if it
I'm
wasn't,
saying I had my having more sauce helped me.
I'm thinking the opposite. I feel like even though the sauce lubricated and might have helped you a little bit, I do think that like the feeling, because I mean, look at me, like I didn't have anything on my face afterwards, and I think that would have gotten in my head and slowed me down even more. I actually think that I think I did as well as I did, and again, didn't even fully accomplish it because of my own special rules, honestly. If I had just gotten one DoorDashed as is with the cheese and the sauce, I think I would have done worse.
I just am kind of in a moment of realizing that like this is probably the one Big Mac that I'll have maybe for the rest of my life or maybe for the next 5 or 10 years, because if I were to go to McDonald's, which isn't very typical for me, I don't go for the Big Mac. I go for like the quarter pounder with cheese. That's what I love. But like, so for me, eating McDonald's is a very rare treat. And so again, it's something that might happen every few years. And now that was it for a few years. It was like smashing it down my hamburger hole as fast as I could while being videotaped and also cracked up by my friend / Cobra.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was saying that got you, but I was honestly, I was looking at you horrified. I'm like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm sorry. I thought that if I went silent, it would be bad for the show.
No, I appreciated it. I mean, I didn't appreciate it.
I'm like tripping you while you're trying to run a marathon. Let me ask you a question. Do you have any cinnamon over there? Or ice buckets, or anything else we could challenge ourselves with.
Actually,
right now.
that is a thing, Andrew, that people are doing with this. I left that part out, but they'll usually have the Big Mac ready to go, and then they'll just say, "I'm so and so. I'm going to do the Big Mac challenge," and I call out, and they call somebody else out. So we missed our chance. Should we call out Tim Kirkjian?
Who's up next? Tim and Jeff.
Yes.
You guys have to do.
This is TBTL. We just did the Big Mac challenge, and we're calling out Tim and Jeff Kirkjian.
That's right. That would be a very funny end game, I guess, for this whole thing. But I mean,
here's the other thing about this sauce, dude. You know me. I've got.
What is it? Pickly kind of? Is it a pickly mayonnaise?
Yeah. You know what? It's like
Island.
there's still a little bit.
Well, don't do that.
No, I'm trying to refresh my memory of what it actually is, because also again I don't get Big Macs because I'm not into this sauce either. You know what it's like? It's like a Thousand Island kind of sauce. So it's what's that got? Mayo and ketchup?
I don't know exactly. I got to say, I don't usually go in for that kind of stuff, but then I have all these little rules that I break because one time in college, I was eating a bloomin' onion with my friend Andrea, who came up on the show recently, and I remember being like, well, I need to dip this in something, and there's this sauce here, which must, it was one of those very, like, kind of tan, like, between white and brown.
I know exactly the sauce
that
you get with a bloomin' onion.
And that's probably, is that close to the Big Mac sauce?
Yes, it's basically kind of all in the same family. But this is the thing that I have a kind of a weird, and my mom has this, I've noticed now, because as we mentioned on yesterday's show, my parents are kind of moving in with me. So now I've had so much more coffee with my mother in the last 6 months than I had in the previous 26 years of my life. And so my mom definitely has the same thing, which is she's like violently clearing her throat all morning because she's drinking coffee that has half and half in it. And like when I eat anything that has any kind of creamy, whether it's a milk product or that sauce or my beloved ranch from Taco Time, I then go into, Carrie used to call it sling blading. Because I'm just constantly clearing my throat. I will be clearing my throat like that probably until the next 4th of July. Because of how just my body responds to that stuff.
Yeah. It's funny. We used to say the same exact thing about my dad too when he would sling blade. Really? The funny thing is, my dad also does an impression of sling blade that is not terrible. To be honest with you, I remember.
Have you seen? Sorry,
Yes, you are about to say what I was about to say. Go ahead. Well, go ahead. But I was about to bring this up with you.
William Robert Thornton doing Billy Bob Thornton.
Yes.
Doing
Right. Yes.
I was just giving him a funny name.
I
What
did
if he
get
had, what if
confused
he had
for a
acted
second.
under the name William Robert Thornton? He'd be a really different vibe. Billy Bob Thornton's T-Mobile ad that he's doing that they're playing during the baseball game.
I've seen it with the sound off a couple of times,
Oh.
but the first time I saw it with the sound on, and Genevieve was in the room, and I got incensed. Like the thing is, I used to love him
over the
He's
fact that
such
they're
a-
trying to make Whoop Up a thing.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't even. That
They want to
didn't-
say he wants to say that T-Mobile opened a can of whoop ass on the
Oh,
other
I did
carriers.
not hear
but
that.
but they have to have him say, so they pretty much went out there and opened a can of whoop up on those other companies.
No.
And I'm like, don't
Do
try
it
to
or
make
don't.
do it or don't. Whoop up is not a thing.
Yeah, and also, but I just like I don't know. Seeing his face makes me so angry right now, just because he acted like such a petulant brat during that interview. Because somebody acknowledged that he's also an actor, but he was supposed to be there, like being interviewed as a musician. But he was so
Mm-hmm.
mad that the interviewer introduced him as mentioned his acting career. And so
Yeah.
when I see him, I was like, Genevieve, look, that musician is doing a T-Mobile ad. Like, oh man, has Billy Bob Thornton gone into acting? Boy, you wouldn't say that to Tom Petty, would you? I don't know, man. Just like seeing super
Yeah.
famous people like punch down. And again, that was Gameshi, right? Who
Yeah, it
ended
was a
up.
guy with his own issues.
He's got his own issues anyway, but we didn't know that at the time. And all he's
Yeah.
trying to do is do his job, which is interview
Yeah.
somebody. And somebody just comes in, like somebody with
Yeah.
so much more, like kind of, kind of capital is fame or
Yes.
whatever it is, and punches down like that. It is like that is such a trigger for me, and I'll
Yeah.
never see his face again. And it's funny because I used to love him. He's a great actor.
Well, now he's in that
I mean,
show
musician.
Landman, which is like, I think that's made by the same people that do Yellowstone or something.
I've never heard of it.
And he's like an oil not prospector, but you know what I mean. He's like in the oil industry. But there's a certain like look to those shows and to Landman. And what's funny is he's in the T-Mobile commercial. He's walking in a landscape that would have been out of the show Landman.
I was wondering when you told me that he's in that show. I was wondering if maybe do you think that there's synergy there, as they would
I think
say?
he might be in his Landman character.
Yeah, I wonder if
that's-
it's supposed to evoke that, and there's some
because
sort
he's
of deal.
walking around on like a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, which is a thing that he's constantly doing in the show Landman. I could see that being a corporate tie-in. Like there's a longer version of that. Like there's a longer version of that commercial where it references it, or more likely in the show Landman, somehow T-Mobile gets a bunch of shout outs.
Or they're picking up their phones and you see the T-Mobile logo in the corner.
Something
or
like that.
Yeah.
I'm just offended by them trying to get us to believe that whoop up is a thing that people are saying instead of whoop ass.
Yeah.
Opened a can of whoop up on
No,
them.
that again, and you don't have to use that right around it. Like if you don't have the cojones, I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing there but people say cojones. But if you don't if you don't have the gumption to
Thank
just
you.
say the right thing, to just write something else into the script. I hate that.
You know who would never say whoop up? Tom Petty. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Toomgis for some reason, but maybe I just got marketing on my.
R.I.P. Toomgis. When's the last
R.I.P..
time we saw Toomgis in an ad?
That is a really good point.
Well, you listen when you're out there running for mayor of Aurora.
Yeah.
Do you see Toomgis still like represented within the AM/PM environment?
He tried to sell me a rabbit fur coat
That you
yesterday.
left out the fact that you buried the lead so hard on that with Toomgis.
I am trying to see here. If you go to the AM/PM website here, AM/PM home, is there any sign? Because I'm not gonna. If I search for Toomgis, I'm sure I can find him somewhere on the page. But if you go to the page, this is erasure. I don't see him anywhere, Luke. And you're right. I can't remember the last time that that crazy snack bot walked onto my screen.
I'm looking at the website as well because I could see a world in which they just took him off of they just didn't do more TV commercials.
Yeah.
But you're right. There would have been a period of time where when you were at ampm.com, you would have seen friggin' Toomgis.
Yes, and why wouldn't you? So I just typed in, where is Toomgis?
Where in the world is my friend named Toomgis?
Didn't Slash have a little
Yeah,
sign on his
famously.
back in the November Rain video that said, where's Toomgis?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I see Huffington Post says, who or what is Toomgis, but that's from 2018. Nobody seems to be reporting on the disappearance of Toomgis, but I think we should
You know
maybe
what?
get on this.
That's our next limited series for this show.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Toomgus?
Finding Mr. Toomgus?
Yeah.
Previously on Serial.
That's right. All right,
Yeah.
Luke. Oh, I didn't even hear the music.
So there was this
Sorry.
guy, okay? His hair was completely licorice. His hands, I think, were some kind of a cinnamon, like a cinnamon roll or
yeah,
something.
cinnamon roll, I think so. Yeah, like a Danish.
And he was on TV constantly during baseball games for at least an entire season before I realized his name, Toomgus, was Too Much Good Stuff, abbreviated. And then something really interesting happened. Toomgus disappeared, and nobody was talking about it. But we're going to talk about it right after I go lie down for a while because I still have a mostly non-masticated Big Mac in my stomach.
Okay.
Or somewhere north of my stomach.
How about this to add to the mystery, Luke? I'm on the official iSpot website, which is like a
that's your go-to for
repository
this
for all
stuff.
these like official commercials where they're officially loaded. I found a Toomgus commercial. It won't play. Spinning Wheel of Death.
Somebody
Anybody?
does not want us to get to the information.
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, by the way,
This goes all the way to the top.
his beard is Cheetos. I don't know if I've ever realized that before.
I don't think I realized that either. I mean, that's the thing that's so amazing about Toomgus is you could stare at him for hours and still find new things.
Yes. How many?
That are his.
Do you think you could eat a Toomgus in under a minute?
You know what? After my success with the Big Mac, as long as you slather it in sauce,
Yeah. All right.
I think I could do it.
All right. Well, here we
There
go.
you
I
go.
guess
Happy
we should
4th of
start.
July,
yeah,
everybody.
let's start our holiday now, I suppose. Well, thanks for doing that. That was
Thank
that
you,
was fun.
Andrew,
Yep.
for really and truly. Thank you for participating in that slightly outside of our normal thing kind of adventure here on this 4th of July show. So that was fun.
I don't feel nauseous. The first time I've ever wrapped up the show and didn't feel nauseous.
That's the thing. You need to eat. Your Big Mac levels are dangerously low. Your body is literally eating itself. If you ate one Big Mac during every program, I bet you that it would balance out your blood humors.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat nothing but McDonald's for a full year and make a movie about it.
Oh, that is such a good idea.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. That's going to bring us to the end of our broadcast week. Hope you're having a fun and safe 4th of July. We'll see you on Monday with more Imaginary Radio. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.